So let me just say, we've heard from pastors, pilots, problem solvers, on-air personalities. We just heard about how to pause, ponder, and proceed. And now we're about to finish up with a probate attorney who's going to teach you teach you a little something about what it means to plan for what can happen, what we might not expect happen, but what will happen at some point in our lives. Our next speaker, she spent 30 years in litigation in New York and Georgia, and she does everything that she can in order to make sure that you don't lose the assets that your family has. Avoid the predators, avoid the people who will try to take what your family has, and they can break your family apart. You're gonna hear a story about Mama Mabel, because Mama Mabel had no capacity to plan, but you do. This speaker is gonna teach you how not to leave your legacy to chance. It's my honor and privilege to bring to the stage Stephanie Graham.
Give me an amen if you had a grandmother that went to church on Sunday. Amen. Saturday and Wednesday too? Not only was my grandmother a praying woman, but she went to church 2 to 3 times a week, and she loved to entertain her kids, her grandkids, and her neighbors in the brick house that my grandfather built for her brick by brick. Mabel Rollison Richardson raised 8 children and 4 kids in that house. Mama, as she was affectionately known, she was a country girl. She was a heavy woman. She was a tall woman. She stood about 5 feet 8 inches tall. And without my stilettos, I'm just 5 feet 4 inches tall. So I always looked up to her. She was a force of nature, a vibrant part of every family gathering. Births, baptisms, weddings, celebrations, nothing started without Mama Mabel's blessing. In fact, about 21 years ago, they planned a baby shower for me, and I was so big, I was so hot, and my buttons were so stressed, and the buffet was laid out, but we couldn't start and touch anything until Mama Mabel came sauntering in. But she had a smile on her face all the time. She loved to tell stories, and she had a laugh that would shake her whole body. But that's not where Mama Mabel really showed out. Thanksgiving is when she showed out. Not because she cooked. Put her face up there. Because she had 5 daughters who wouldn't let her cook. She would sit at the table, and we would rotate from 5 different homes every Thanksgiving. There was Aunt Shug. She was the baby. Her birth name was Ida, but we called her Shug. We never knew why. Then there was Auntie Ned. She was the oldest, and like a fridge, she couldn't keep nothing. Then there was Aunt Rosa. Aunt Rosa was the serious one. You couldn't mess with her too much. Then there was Ella, my mama. That was her preferred name, but everybody called her by her birth name, which was Eloise. Then there was Janie. Nobody trusted Janie with Thanksgiving dinner. We couldn't find her half the time, and she had this white couch covered in plastic that nobody wanted to sit on because we'd stick to it. So her daughter was the other host. So for Thanksgiving dinner, we had a spread. We had beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, lamb, ram. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. We didn't have lamb or ram. Nobody even knew what that was. We're country folks, so we had country food. We had soul food. We had turkey. We had ham. We had ribs. We had cornbread. We had field peas and rice and yams. Then there was collard greens. Do you know how much work goes into cooking collard greens for 30 people? Anybody in here ever cooked collard greens? I did too, one time. Then we had a dessert table. All of my favorite desserts, but my biggest favorite dessert was the birthday cake. That's right, I'm a Thanksgiving baby, y'all. So for as long as I can remember, over 30 of us would get together to celebrate Thanksgiving and my birthday as a Thanksgiving baby. But as time passed by, Mama Mabel went from strong to weak. She went from tall to very small. About 5 years before she died, her memory and her mind started to leave her, and we had to take her car and her car keys. Now, Mama Mabel was still a gentle giant. She was not to be toyed with. And when we finally lost her, nothing was the same. There were 5 different changes for the year, 5 years, 5 different opinions, 5 different caretakers. One of them had access to Mama Mabel's bank account and wouldn't tell anybody what was in it. The other one felt like no one else helped her with all the caretaking she did, the bathing and the cooking and the cleaning. That conflict, friends, is the crux of estate planning. And that's why I started my estate planning practice 16 months after Mama Mabel passed away, because I didn't want any other family to go through what my family went through. So I created a blueprint. P is for probate. An effective plan will help your family avoid probate, simplify the process, and help your family save time, money, and substantial attorney's fees. Legacy. An effective estate plan helps your family establish your family values and your family unit. Assets. Your assets, yes, it does include stuff, but that stuff you acquired was for the family unit. That is your most important asset. And no conflicts. An effective estate plan will substantially reduce the conflicts in your family and the family disputes. So I created this blueprint so your family wouldn't go through the same thing my family went through. My granddaddy's house, it still stands, but the family, not so much. I shared with you my Mama Mabel. Who is your Mama Mabel? Who are you thinking about this very moment? So I welcome you to come sit at my table and talk about your Mama Mabel, and I will share my blueprint to help you plan for absence, plan for assets, and help your family grieve in peace.
Now, as you know, I told you I'm Jamaican, but I got a little bit of Georgia in me. What y'all don't know is that Stephanie and I had a conversation a few months ago after one of our first group coaching sessions. She says, Mark, I thought I had to tell a business, it was all about business. I said, well, if we understand your story, we can understand more now why the business applies. You remember that conversation we had?
I do.
Because she didn't even smile. And look at that smile now. Look at that smile. Look at that now. Come on, okay? I say this to say you have grown so much in the past several months, and you see the value of sharing your story, making it about us. It is just wonderful. One more opening we saw today was opening with someone else's story. And she planted a seed in the introduction because Tyran said we're going to hear about Mama Mabel. Who is Mama Mabel? Who thought that? Anybody? Of course. And we got to see her, this giant of a person in your life. And I was wondering, how much of the story is she going to tell? And as you were telling us, she wants us to understand the entire picture of what your family was like. Because when the fracture came, one had the account, one was concerned about daily care. I invite you to be so bold as to give us one more piece of pain you felt and ping us. Can anyone relate to this? Is somebody in your family close to being? Make us feel that. It's okay. Cause us some pain. Poke us. Make us feel the discomfort because it was so wonderful. I don't know who got the Shirley Caesar reference. I got greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes. Who got that? It was hilarious. I was laughing. And it's a way to add levity to a serious topic. So that's also skillfully done. So we didn't find ourselves going down, down, down the whole time. You gave us room to almost ride a roller coaster to feel what you felt. Also by being willing, as the authority, as the legal voice, to share a personal story. What that does for us is give us a deeper reason to trust you because you're telling us your story, what you went through. And when you said, I decided within 16 months, I'm going to devote my life to make sure nobody else goes through what my family goes through. And that gives us a reason to trust you and want to hear from you. You mentioned estate planning. PLAN is your acronym. Oh my goodness, how simple is that? How simple is that and how clear? I put down here, love the plan. I love the metaphor, the Thanksgiving family image. I actually saw my family around my Thanksgiving table. My wife, Andrea, makes Thanksgiving dinner every year for our family. And she looks really gorgeous, but she's older than 50, trust me. And for a moment, I thought, what if she's not here? You know? And we just had our second meeting with Albert. We just signed our will and trust last Wednesday, right?
Congratulations.
Because we thought what we did. I'm being honest here. And here's why. You never know when somebody in your audience can truly relate to what you say. And I can truly relate to what you're talking about here. So I want to thank you from my heart because it ministered to me personally. It's real for me right now where I am. So thank you, thank you. And thank you for being willing to tell your story and not just give us data. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Stephanie, wow. Can I say again? Wow, you guys have no idea how hard she has worked.
Oh, yeah.
And the dedication and getting through some sticky points. It's, wow, I got chills. Yes, like Mark was saying, I was thinking, I'm in the bridge. I've got parents that are older but still taking care of themselves, but I know it's probably a few years away before I'm more directly involved in their business. And it's going to have to be me because my brother's not going to do it. But I'm also thinking, have my husband and I done what we need to do to set up our kids? So you've got me thinking on two sides of the family. So thank you for that. That's very important. Loved your beginning. Give me an amen if. Yeah. She's doing a couple of things there. She's immediately got you involved. She's inviting you without saying anything other than give me a, but the amen directly ties it to what follows. You had a grandma who was in church every Sunday, every Saturday, whatever. Beautiful. Wonderfully done. I love that you set up the events in life, the birthdays, the holidays, the whatever, because that's also really relevant to the point you come back to. Those events won't be so happy later down the line, right? I love it that you set up the family members. One was not trustworthy. One would always do the whatever. One always wrapped her couch. You're setting up the characters that will be, the characteristics that will be important later, right? So it seems just like a fun character sketch in the beginning, but that's very important, and you come back to that. So well done there. And yes, this is why I started my practice. Huge. That's it. You lay it bare for us right there. And I love how you close. I want you to sit at my table and tell me about your Mama Mabel. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. I'm so happy for you and pleased with the way this turned out. Congratulations.
Yes. Woohoo!
Thank you, Jeannie.
There she is.
Jeannie's a great coach.
Jeannie, if you
She's
can come
helped
up
a
here.
lot of us
Jeannie,
with a
come
lot
on,
of
Jeannie.
things.
Come on,
up,
Jeannie. Genius. I call her genius. She knows that.
So I just want to say this, Stephanie. We saw you today. It is important when you're a speaker. You'll hear people talk about, okay, I've got to switch into speaker mode. But sometimes when we do that, we start to lose our authenticity. You saw the authentic version of you come out today and what you shared. And I think that for those of us who've been a part of this whole process with you, this is who you are, and this is who we need to see.
Yes.
This is the stuff with the smile and everything versus somebody who is reciting, legal code about what.
Thank you.
And so
I wanted to fight her.
I know you did. You probably wanted to fight me too, but I understand.
But it worked.
It worked. But you did amazing today. We're proud of you. You've done a great deal, Stephanie. And I just want to say, on behalf of NSA Georgia, on behalf of Speaker Academy and everybody related, congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
deserve this. You came out here and you did something amazing, and we're excited to see what's to come with you. So, Stephanie, thank you so much.
Thank you. I did it, Mama Mabel.
Yeah.